Hey everyone, good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Windier from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center with a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Now today has been gorgeous, but a flip-flop in our weather pattern is expected. In fact, a cold front rolls through the high desert tonight. Then we get a cooling trend, but temperatures start to rebound by this weekend. So several changes in the next 72 hours with even more gorgeous conditions later in the 7-day planner. So we're going to take a look at what's been happening today, what's expected through the next couple of days, and what you need to know to prepare yourself for the changes that are going to be on the way here through this next 7 days. So we're going to start off with our weather headlines for this Thursday, April the 10th. A cooling trend is on the way, and that's going to be triggered by a cold front that pushes through the high desert this evening and tonight. So some scattered showers are expected. Later on, I'll show you the forecast models. Now, the mountains really absorb most of that precipitation, but a few showers make it through. Then Friday and Saturday, a couple sprinkles aren't out of the question, but most of us are going to be dry. Now, winds will be breezy at times, and then that weekend weather flip-flop that I was talking about. And yes, 70s, you can wear flip-flops, but I'm talking about a change and then a change back happening in just a couple of days. So we'll start off with what's going on right here and right now. There is a whole lot of cloud cover over the high desert, just no precipitation in sight. And these clouds hindered our warming just a little bit, but we still topped out near that forecast high. The average high was supposed to be around 72 degrees. Some of us got a little bit warmer than that. Others didn't quite make it out of the 60s, but even with this cloud cover, there's just been no precipitation. And a quick look at road cameras across the Tri-County area. We have dry roads, but we can see those clouds out there. So let's move it on. Let's go to the enhanced satellite imagery and pressure. So where you see those white lines on the screen, those are isobars, or equal lines of pressure, and that just helps us figure out where a lot of the features are across the region and what's going to be happening through the next couple of days. So we notice that some of these isobars are kind of close together over the Tri-County area, and that's one of the reasons why it just has been breezy through Central Oregon this afternoon. Notice some of these clouds have a little bit thicker, some of them are taller, and we can see that by the brighter colors. Remember, this is infrared satellite, and there's a color enhancement on it just to pull out those high clouds, but there's just been no precipitation with any of this. Our low pressure for this cold front is just coming into Canada. It's right on the coastline, and here through the next couple of hours, some of the showers that are embedded within this cold front are going to come up to the crest of the Cascades, and a little bit of that pours into the Tri-County area. Meanwhile, looking at the bigger picture, there is a broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean, and count them with me. There's two different cold fronts, or weak waves of moisture, if you will. Each of those are going to be impacting us. And when we look at satellite and radar, there's a couple things that we see. First, this cold front is rolling in, but notice those showers are along and west of the Cascades as of right now. A few sprinkles have made it to the east slopes of the Cascades. And so here through the next couple of hours, some of those scattered showers are going to be pushing through, but this cold front is going to roll through, bring a drop in temperatures, and then some of those waves of moisture over the Pacific Ocean are going to be impacting us. But let's talk about temperatures today. Look at this. Highs in the last 24 hours, 70s and 60s across Central Oregon. Redmond even got up to 76 degrees. Now, we're currently running between 1 and 9 degrees warmer than we were just 24 hours ago, so that puts our temperatures much warmer, much more pleasant, and some of those flirting with record highs. The record high for Bend is 77 degrees, not quite there, just flirting with it, but look at this. We're still sitting in the 70s with some 60s on the east slopes of the Cascades, some of our higher elevations. And through the next couple of days, that temperature profile is going to change, and that's because of some of those weak waves of moisture pushing through. So through Friday, our cold front well off to the east. We're actually going to be seeing some additional in and out cloud cover because one of those waves of moisture. And another one is actually highlighted on the map right here. You can see this weak cold front way out over the Pacific Ocean, right behind the word cooler. That's what pushes in on Saturday. So through Friday, some clouds, a few sprinkles by the afternoon, but really if you get a couple of those sprinkles, you're going to be some of the lucky ones. Most of us stay dry. And seasonal temperatures. So instead of 70s with some 60s, we're looking at 60s with some 50s across the high desert. Winds, a little breezy at times. And those in and out clouds continue through Saturday as well. And that weak cold front starts to fizzle out as it pushes in, bringing that cooler air mass along with it, but also not bringing too much in the way of precipitation. Once again, the mountains absorb most of the rain, and through the high desert, we're just looking at a chance for a few sprinkles before clearing by the afternoon. So winds are going to be breezy for most of us at times, and highs are going to be the 50s with a few 40s, and then fast forward to Sunday, this is where that flip-flop is. We get a huge drop in temperatures on Saturday, then by Sunday we're starting to rebound again, and this rebound is going to bring us through the 60s. So by Sunday we're looking at 60s, some 50s out there. By Monday we're in the 70s. We get a little bit more warming, some ups and downs in temperatures, but we're staying in the 70s. So if you've been waiting on that long stretch of gorgeous weather that we typically see this time of the year, it's right around the corner. We just have to get through this next round of cooling and then our next rebounding. So the next roller coaster hump after that, we start to climb and we just stay up there. And it's going to be gorgeous. But through Sunday, also gorgeous. So here's a look at that temperature trend through the next 5 days. By tomorrow, we go from 70s and a few 60s today to 60s and some 50s, then 50s and a few 40s. Now remember, some sprinkles and breezy winds are expected Friday and Saturday, but again, most of us are going to stay dry. The majority of our precipitation through the next 7 days pushes through this evening and tonight. Even that is going to be scattered. So by Monday, lower 70s. By Tuesday, lower to mid 70s, and the warm up, the gorgeous conditions really don't stop there. We're going to look at the traditional forecast model that I typically show on air. This one is going to help highlight when and where we can expect some of that precipitation, because I've been talking about it a little bit here through the last couple of minutes. And ultimately, that cold front that's pushing through right now, we're going to see the cooler air mass get ahead of the shower activity. That's indicative of a system wrapping up, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So the mountains absorb most of the precipitation. After 7 o'clock, we're looking at a few light showers rolling through and then some AM clearing, but just not a lot. And it's going to be chilly to start the day on Friday. In and out clouds are expected, and by the afternoon hours, a few sprinkles are possible. Note it's a very faint green. I think most of the precipitation is going to be over the eastern third of the state in south central Oregon, but a few sprinkles are possible. Winds are going to be breezy at times. We get periods of clearing, and it's going to be cooler. This is when we're topping out near average for this time of the year. By Saturday, even cooler, and notice we get that clearing through the day, and that additional sunshine isn't going to help temperatures too much. I've actually bumped up those temperatures on Saturday from either side of 50 degrees to the lower 50s because of this additional sunshine, but it's still going to be the coolest day out of the next 7. Winds are still going to be breezy at times, and through the AM hours, a few sprinkles and flurries are going to be possible. Then, taking it past that, through Saturday night going into Sunday, notice very little cloud cover, and this is when temperatures begin to rebound. There will be a warm front. Look in the top left corner of your screen. That's a warm front. As the tail end of that skirts through the region, we get another bump in temperatures, and that helps Sunday, continues on Monday. But we're going to switch gears and look at the GFS. This is a long-range forecast model. What I've been showing you is our high-resolution in-house model. This one is run by NOAA, not just the National Weather Service, but all of NOAA. And it takes us through the next 7 to 10 days. We're going to look at the rest of the 7-day planner. So it is going to look a little bit different through Sunday night going into Monday. It shows a little bit more cloud cover, so there's some discrepancy there. But through Monday, mostly sunny. Through Tuesday, partly cloudy at times, and that's mostly going to be during the afternoon hours. So you could say increasing clouds on Tuesday, no precipitation. It does trigger a slight dip in temperatures, but it's going to be a dry cold front. Back to more sunshine on Wednesday and Thursday. Looks pretty nice to me. And so that means some ups and downs in our temperatures are expected. It's going to stay dry after these scattered showers push through the high desert tonight, with the exception of a few sprinkles Friday during the midday and afternoon hours, and then Saturday morning. But for the most part, yeah, it's not bad at all. Now, winds today have already been gusty. Current gusts are between 25 and 35 miles per hour across the high desert, and this is in advance of that cold front. And so stronger winds are expected as we stay in this unsettled weather pattern as we wrap up the work week and go into the weekend. I'm not going to call it an active weather pattern because, yes, there are a couple troughs pushing through, but no, we're not looking at too much in the way of precipitation. It's really going to be breezy at times, in and out clouds, and cooling temperatures through Saturday. Right now, those current wind speeds are sitting between 10 and 20 miles per hour, mostly between 15 and 20 miles per hour, and that's right on target with the forecast. Remember with this graphic, everything to the left of the white line, that now line, is observed and everything to the right is forecast. It's going to stay breezy until around and after sunset, then tapering winds, calming as we get into the AM hours. And by Friday, winds are going to be breezy at times, mostly during the afternoon as the first of 2 weak waves of moisture pushes through the Pacific Northwest. Saturday is going to reflect that. When it comes to winds, it's just going to be much cooler. So for tonight, some PM showers, mostly on the east slopes of the Cascades. Some of it makes it to the 97 corridor and further to the east, but lows in the 40s and some 30s. By Friday, 50s and 60s expected. I do think we're looking at a few more 60s and 50s though. In and out clouds, a few PM sprinkles, not out of the question. And notice I put the sprinkles on the 7-day planner. There's a chance. It's in our house, my spouse and I refer to it as a Dumb and Dumber chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Yes, there is a chance for some sprinkles. A few flurries Saturday morning, but they're going to be few far between. After tonight, scattered showers work their way through the high desert, and a lot of us are even going to stay dry with that. Our cooling continues into Saturday. That's the coolest day out of the next 7. Sunday's our rebound day, and then we're back into the 70s, staying in the 70s. Some ups and downs in temperatures, but mostly lower to mid 70s across the high desert starting Monday of next week, going through most of the work week, and even taking a quick look past that and getting a hint of what we can expect days 6 through 10, well above average for this time of the year. And so some of those long range forecast models are actually hinting at staying in the 70s after Thursday and into Friday, but then by next week in another trough, another weak wave of moisture pushes through, could bring some showers by not this weekend but next weekend, but for the most part it's just going to bring another dip in temperatures, knocking us back down to near average for this time of the year. That being said, staying with it, our precipitation trend days 6 through 10 also shows abnormally dry conditions across the Pacific Northwest. So just keep in mind that through next week we're looking at 70s. Through next week, we're looking at not much in the way of precipitation at all. And through next week, we're looking at just a light breeze. I haven't looked at when they're going to start doing some prescribed burns, but that is going to be a possibility. It's going to be just prime conditions for that. Either way, enjoy it. Have a great time. And join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. That's at 5 and 11 on ABC, and at 6, 7, and 11 on CBS. We'll see you then. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop those in the comments section below. I'll do my best to get to them. For now, though, that's it. We'll see y'all later.